Welcome back to another episode of Cape Ann Today. I am talking today about farmers markets, and I'm speaking with Sharon Byrne Kishida from the Rockport Exchange Board of Directors. The Rockport Exchange runs the Rockport Farmers Market. And I'm talking to Alana Horne, President and Director of the Magnolia Community Farmers Market. Hi, you guys.
Hey,
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Did I get who you are correct?
Yeah, you did a great job on my name. Thank you very much.
Sure, sure. So I'm going to ask each of you to introduce your particular farmers market. And I just want you to tell me, what you love about it, what you anticipate this summer, what are some of the special things, but also talk about details that people need to know if they're coming to visit for the first time. Parking, is it too sunny? Is it very sunny? Is it shady? Are there benches for resting? That kind of thing. Any sort of details you want to add, okay? So Sharon, since you live in my town, I'm going to ask you to go first.
Okay. Again, thanks for the opportunity, Heather. Well, this will be the 11th year of the Rockport Farmers Market. Most of those years have been spent at Harvey Park, which is at the intersection of Broadway and Mount Pleasant Street. It's that point in the road where you either go straight and you're going onto a wharf, or you go left to downtown Bearskin Neck, or go right into the south end. I'd like to say we have a delightful smallish market that is really community focused, and it is food focused, I should say that. So most of our vendors, not exclusively, but most of our vendors are food vendors. This year we have made a slight change where we're offering one non-food vendor but sells food related products to table once a week. We also welcome two nonprofits every week, and we think this is really key, insofar as community building, that this is a hub where people can gather. Harvey Park, actually, 2 years ago, they renovated it, so there are really easy paths to follow. That was not true. We had like macadam paths that were all unsafe because of tree roots, and so I can say it's a lovely place to walk. It's carriage friendly, it's wheelchair friendly, it's walker friendly, and we have the public restrooms are close by, so that's convenient. And we work closely with the police department, because I think for a lot of people that don't live in Rockport and do live in Rockport, parking is a huge issue in Rockport. It has always been a huge issue, but we actually have 4 spaces right on Mount Pleasant, and 2 on Broadway that will be reserved for customers. And we're hoping that, I'm sure, like Alana, that people from out of town that may not have a Rockport parking sticker will definitely feel welcomed to come, or use the CATA bus to come, or use the trolley from the transfer station to come. And as I said, I think we're kind of on the smallish side, but we're growing, and we have music every week, and it's a place to really go and see your friends and find out what's happening in Rockport.
Nice. And how about farmers, Sharon?
So we have this year so far, we have 4 farmers. 2 are from Ipswich. Marshview Farm and Twin Birch are from Ipswich. Marshview is also a CSA. We also have 2 very local farmers. Driftwood Farms is relatively new farm in Rockport, and that's Ben Smith. And CU Farm, a really not decades, a century-old farm that also participates. And we also have an herb farm, Thousand Leaves Farm. So 4 traditional farmers and an herb farm.
Nice, nice. Okay, Alana, tell us about Magnolia. Sunday mornings in Magnolia.
Absolutely. So Sunday mornings in Magnolia, we're right on Lexington Avenue. We open at 10 a.m. and we stretch from the corner of Lexington Avenue and Norman Ave to the corner of Lexington Avenue and Flume. We shut down the whole street. We have probably 15 tents most weekends. And the businesses of Lexington Avenue are not only very supportive, but most of them are open while we're operating as well. So we've got breakfast at Happy Humpback and Magnolia Cafe, and I heard 525 is doing brunch this year. So we've got some little, breakfast nooks to be part of it. Our vendors we've got 3 farms right now that are signed up for this year. In past years, we've had anywhere between 2 and 4. I think one year we had 5 farms. This is our 5th year, so we're still young. We're still kind of picking at it a little bit. We have 4 different prepared food vendors that'll be coming, and then we have crafters and makers that join us on a rotating basis as well. We offer live music every week, somebody different, local, small, big, a little bit different something every week. The community of Magnolia is very welcoming to all of our lunacy that we like to put on the street. Every weekend is kind of like a little happy food party. And the neighbors all come out, and there's it's like a little weekly celebration for us. It's very community centric. As far as parking goes, our vendors are given the opportunity to park off street because the owners of the Magnolia Pub at the very end of Lexington Ave have generously year after year offered us their parking. So we have designated vendor parking. And then most of the rest of it is street parking, but none of it's paid parking, which is nice because Magnolia doesn't have meters or any of the new fangled meter computer situations that go awry in town. So that's really nice. And as far as, I think one of your questions was places to sit. We put out tables for people. If they've purchased food at the market, they can stand and watch music and have coffee and eat along the way. And then the restaurants that are there also have tables on the sidewalk. They come out and kind of join the party every day. So it's kind of a nice little community morning. The farms that we have joining us this year, we have Marshall's Farm Stand. They've been with us from the very beginning. Marshall's is over on Concord Street. They have their own farm stand, but they pack up and come and join us on Sundays. Seaview Farm, which Sharon mentioned, is also joining us this year. We had them our first and second seasons. They kind of took a hiatus during COVID, and they'll be back joining us every other week this year. Cozy Family Farm, which is also over in Rockport, has just signed on, and they'll be joining us. And Euphoria, which is a flower farm, flower and herbs. They're out of Essex and Beverly. I think she was in Beverly, now she's in Essex, but she's going to be joining us as well. And they all offer a great variety of different wonderful produce, and Seaview Farm brings meat, and I think both Seaview and Cozy will bring eggs. So there's just a great variety of all kinds of different things that'll be found on the street. We also have prepared seafood. We've got eclectic clam coming back again this year. Grateful Tastes, which is honeys and jams. So there's a lot of things to find in the mix. And I think I want to say we have 4 different vendors each week that'll be some sort of a maker. We have candles, with locally sourced products. We've got photography, an artist will be there as well. So it's a good little jive we've got going on over there.
Yeah. So Sharon, you have music also, right? In Rockport?
We do have music also. Yeah.
So
and we're lucky, right? Because there's such a plethora of great music on Cape Ann.
Yeah, and it's such a great way to showcase our musicians also,
Right.
So, and I wanted to point out that the Rockport Farmers Market is a Saturday vibe. Magnolia is a Sunday vibe. And
that's right.
Fun is,
and we are, yeah. And so this year, actually, last year, our market was 9 to 12, and we're going back to, we had been 9 to 1 pre-COVID, so we're going back to 9 to 1, which I think will make a lot of people happy. So
yeah.
And we also offer SNAP. Last year was the first year that we offered SNAP. We applied for and got a grant from the Department of Agricultural Resources, and so that has really been a great thing. And this year we initiated our, I guess I would say, our first formal annual appeal. And we have been able to hire a part-time market manager, which is really great news. Alana, I'm pretty sure you're all volunteer, and we've been all volunteer for a long time, and this is so great. Kate McGoldrick, who she and her partner run Thousand Leaves Farm, which is the herb farm, is our new market manager. So she's also a farmer. She gets it. And so that was a great outcome for the fundraiser. But the other outcome is that we are going to be providing a SNAP match. We're not sure how this is going to go, how far the money is going to go, but we're going to offer up to a $10 match per market for SNAP customers. So hoping to attract, hoping to be more accessible to more people.
So if someone is paying $10 with SNAP, the market can provide $10 also. Is that what
we are going to provide out of our coffers, a $10 match?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's really great. So let's, this is a good place to talk about the challenges of running a local farmers market. Why don't each of you take a turn, and Alana, I'll have you go first this time, and tell us about just what's really hard about it, because I know it's hard.
Well, as Sharon mentioned, we're completely volunteer run. I have a team of 5 others who work with me very closely every single week to try to reel this in. Between doing our own marketing, doing our own social media campaigns, doing our own fundraising, doing our own outreach to the vendors, and it's a full-time job, actually. So, I mean, getting volunteers to step up and, help. We've got one great kid who comes every single week religiously. He helps us out constantly, and it's great to have him on the street every week. The guys that I work with, David, Ning, Dylan, Greg, and Rebecca, I couldn't do this without them. I really couldn't. We each have our own little pockets of, the niches that we actually have to do in order to operate. But it's a lot of work to wrangle in, the right people to do the things that need to get done. Boots on the ground on the Sunday morning is, nobody wants to work on a Sunday morning. And I think that our time frame on a Sunday morning is what's making it difficult for me, particularly this year, to tie down vendors. A lot of these businesses, these small, tiny businesses, they're, 1-woman, 2-man shows. They don't have a lot of people that are helping them to support their businesses, and they don't have a lot of people that can staff their tent. They don't have as much of a reach in order to find what they need in order to secure the dates. And ours being on a Sunday is very difficult. People don't want to work on the Sundays. And I think that that's kind of apropos of everybody in town right now, is that we're having trouble finding, good work. But I did find it very hard this season to get enough vendors to sign on and actually say that they would join us so that I could make a stand here. We're very fortunate that we definitely have enough, and we're going to be great. And it's going to be, I wouldn't say as big as last year, but we're definitely well-rounded this year. But it was hard tying down the vendors. I think that was the biggest challenge that I had this year.
And this is specific to this year. You really saw a difference.
Yeah, it was different this year. Last year, we had them coming out of the woodwork. I think we actually turned a couple people away last year because we had, too many of one genre and a maker, and too many. But this year, it's people will sign up and they're gung ho and they're gonna join us, and then all of a sudden, I don't have anybody to run my tent, and then they have to back out. So we've had that happen a couple of times in the past couple of weeks. So, but I mean, other than actually securing the vendors, I think that the rest of it isn't as hard as it was in the past, just because we've finally gotten it down.
Yeah, but it's a lot of volunteer work.
It is a lot of volunteer work. It's a lot of man hours for sure.
Yeah. How about you, Sharon?
Yeah, I would definitely align with what Alana is saying about, and what you've said, Heather. It is a lot of work, for sure. And a lot of our volunteers have been doing it for a long time, and it's exhausting. And you're giving up a weekend, and particularly if you're younger and you have families, it's even more complicated. what happened, I think, with Rockport's Farmers Market, as you know, Heather, we're under the umbrella of Rockport Exchange, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And prior to the Farmers Market, Rockport Exchange used to put on two gigantic festivals a year, Harvest Fest and Motif #1 Day. And, I would always say, like, at the end of Harvest Fest is like putting on a circus one day a year. You're not doing it enough that it becomes institutionalized. You're constantly looking for people that want to volunteer. And I think, communication is really key. But, at the end of last year, we had relied on Harvest Fest to really fund this engine. And, we kind of glided through COVID on that. And really, people were spent. And we had a number of board members that said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. They have other commitments they needed to fulfill. And so that's why we did the fundraiser. And, just really grateful that people turned out and were really supportive. And we're able to rebuild our board. It's stronger than ever. Our market is coming back stronger. Certainly the strongest it's been in 4 years. We have several vendors that we have 2 bakers, maybe 2.5 bakers. We've got Cape Ann Sea Salt, which maybe I suspect you have, Alana, as well. Hold Fast, Rockport Soap Company. Boy, I should be looking at my list here. We have Roving Radish Flour Company, although we have other flour vendors that also sell through our farmers. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'd like us to offer some prepared food like Magnolia is doing. We need to get that piece, but we're really happy with the number of farmers we have this year. And, it's surprising, but we average about 500 visitors through the market. I mean, I think, we live on Cape Ann, we're a tourist destination. So I think one of the struggles that we really want to do is this idea of access for all populations, but also to get more of our Rockporters to come to this market, who tend to avoid downtown Rockport in the summertime. So that's a big goal that we're really working on.
And I think, Alana, you would probably have a heavy Magnolia population in your markets because it's kind of the center of the community. It's easy to park. It's your center, and you're also I'm not going to say isolated over there, but you have a whole little niche of your own happening, right?
So very few people know that we are only located 6 minutes away from the previous Cape Ann Farmers Market. 6 minutes. Magnolia is just over the bridge. We are not that far. And we have a lot to offer on Lexington Ave. And I think that a lot of people from, Cape Ann proper or, on the other side of the bridge don't really realize what's out in Magnolia. So yeah, a lot of my clientele, my walkers through, they are locals, they're neighbors, they're Magnolians. And maybe we do cater to them a little bit more, but I mean, we would love to see more of Gloucester kind of venture our way. But I mean, on a Sunday morning, that's not necessarily what people who live on the island are doing. We get that. But Lexington Ave itself it's constantly reinventing itself, and it's kind of repeatedly up and coming. Right now we have a lot of appointment-based businesses, so you don't see the right kind of foot traffic for the smaller places like the flower shop that's out there, or we have a new artist studio that's opening up. So it's not necessarily a place that people are coming just to go to those destinations. They're coming for their appointments, and then they're scooting out. So it's nice to have the farmers market on Sunday mornings because people who wouldn't normally venture to these businesses are finding them. And unlike being, in Rockport, that's already, you've got that tourist foot traffic that's coming in. We're kind of having to grasp at straws to get people to come to us, to find us, and then they start repeating the behavior coming back. Our foot traffic, notably a little bit smaller. I mean, I think you said about 500 people a weekend-ish.
On a good weather,
Yeah, on a
contingent on
good,
good
well,
weather,
good
right?
weather
It's
is
all,
key too.
yeah.
We average probably more like 2 to 250 on a Sunday morning. And then that comes in waves. I mean, it depends on, who's coming out for breakfast at one of the restaurants, or we do have a good bump of traffic that comes because, we have a church up the street, they get out and they wander through as well. And every weekend is a little bit different, but we have a lot of people that are, they're Airbnb renters, or they're summer folk that come in, or they're, just there for a vacation and then they come back because they're not really living that far away. So it's nice to see the repeat customers, but it's great when you see new faces as well. And I think that us being there really does support the Lexington Ave businesses, and vice versa. Having them there, their customer base is coming out to join us on Sundays as well, even if they don't have their appointments.
I want to point out that and I don't think either one of you said this, but I know it's true that besides any amount of fundraising, your only financial resources are the vendors' fees, right? That's how the markets operate. And the vendors' fees are pretty modest. Is that right?
We sell some swag. We
Okay.
sell posters and market t-shirts. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's
And we just raised our fees for the first time ever. They're $35 a market.
for a table for one vendor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, correct.
So so it's a lot of volunteer work. It's not a lot of money. It's so how about we end, first of all, I want you to repeat when your market, the dates and the times of your markets. And let's go out with a statement about why these farmers markets are important in sort of a global kind of way. How about, all right, Sharon, you're first.
Okay, well, thanks for the opportunity, because I didn't say when our market starts. Our first market is Saturday, June 17th, and we have 18 markets through October 14th, and then we'll have 2 holiday markets, one in November and December. We're located at Harvey Park. Our hours are from 9 to 1. And, for me, farmers markets, they have everything that I value. I'm concerned with really good nutrition. I am very concerned about supporting our local economy. And like Alana, I agree. I think our farmers market not only supports the farmers, but it also supports our downtown. It brings people together. But Darren Mason, who is one of the founders, he is just really creatively, he's really an amazing artist, but he has vision that I have come to appreciate. But the tagline for our market is the food less traveled. And that is really important to me when you consider the inputs to, big agri, and from the chemical inputs to the transportation and to, the time when you can buy a head of lettuce at a farmer's market that probably or could have been actually picked that morning. And, nutritionally, the kind of food that we're delivering to our customers and the relationship with the farmers, to me, it is, I can't say enough about farmers markets. I think I think they're really important. I think they're really integral. I think they communicate and teach us about how to value our environment, and also our bodies, I guess, too, and the local economy. Sorry, that was a way more than one sentence.
Oh, well, it was good. That was really good. Thank you. Alana.
Just to kind of piggyback a little bit on what Sharon just said, you tossed out your market logo, your market motto, I should say, the food less traveled. I really liked that. Ours is locals providing for locals. It's local funding, it's local businesses, it's local farming, it's local purveying. It's somebody who's small and who needs a chance being offered this small chance by the people that are trying to support them the most. And I think that the reason we kept the word community in the Magnolia Community Farmers Market was to really tie that together. It's not just, we're located in Magnolia. It's about bringing the people of Magnolia together. It's about bringing the people in all of Gloucester, together to help build these businesses and to create the rungs of the business ladder that these smaller people might not otherwise have the opportunity to do. Several of our businesses, we've lost them along the way because they got big. We had Bonnie Breads. Bonnie Breads she was a little person with a table in a tent. And I think you guys had Bonnie Breads as well. She's huge in Beverly right now. She is a beautiful shop. Source Bakery is another one. They were with us for several years, and now they're over on Duncan Street and they're thriving. I think that a lot of these smaller businesses, they need to start with these tiny roots, just like a plant, like on a farm. They start with roots and then they grow. And I think that that's really important, that the community has a hand in that. And that's why I think that farmers markets are important, whether it's, the small business that you're making dolls and selling them to children, or if you're growing vegetables and selling them to your neighbor. It's all about growth, and it's all about, providing something that another neighbor can make for you to bring to the table. That's how I feel about farmers markets. It's not even about building the business, it's about building joy. So, but to tie that down, the Magnolia Community Farmers Market is on Sunday mornings from 10 to 1 on Lexington Avenue in Magnolia. We start June 4th, which is somehow right around the corner. We go all the way through October 1st. We have 16 markets. And then the following weekend during Columbus Day, on the Sunday of Columbus Day, the Magnolia Community Farmers Market teams up with Magnolia Library and Community Center. And we host Magtoberfest, which is just a giant fanfare of bands and food trucks and vending and more community than you even know what to do with.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I kept trying to bump in there and say incubators. You guys have been amazing incubators over the years. And Cake Ann in a farmer's market. Mark Red. She's no longer with us, but the Nutty Redhead and her nuts, she started at the farmer's market. So yeah, it's been amazing for that. And I think the Chamber of Commerce needs to look at you guys, what you're doing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So thank you so much to both of you, and good luck with your markets this year. I will be visiting both.
Good.
Great. Thank you,
Happy to have
Heather.
you.
Nice to meet you, Alana.
Nice to meet you as well.
Really,
We'll
I
have
think
to
we're
do a
all
little
in this together.
crisscross motivation there.
Great.
All right.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.